Hey, it's Luxury Fred, and today I have a video from my adventure to Israel. And Israel might be known for its incredible history and religion and natural features like the Dead Sea, but it's also now becoming known for wine and as a wine growing and producing region. So I ventured to the Negev Highlands, which is between Beersheba and the resort city of Eilat, and there are now a group of wineries off of Israeli Route 40, and I visited a winery near Avdat, and Avdat is an ancient ruined city. It's a Nabatean city that was part of the spice route, and the Nabatean culture is something you're probably more familiar with their other city, which is Petra in Jordan. So the Nabateans had a city in along the spice route called Avdat, and they grew wine there thousands and thousands of years ago, and now they have an Israeli wine industry there. So I visited this winery called the Desert Estate Carmi Avdat and had a chance to do a wine tasting and meet with the winemaker. Aside from the winery, it's kind of a little B&B, and you can stay in these quaint little guest houses, and they have food and other things to do. And again, this is in the Negev Highlands area of Israel. Here is the winery's winemaker, Raz Arbel, to tell you more about the Israeli wine industry and the wines they produce there.
3 actually existing farms. There is more 7 that will become. And the idea came up during the 90s, actually early 90s, trying to bring more settler to the Negev. But anyway, we need to bring more people to live in the desert, and people thought on all kinds of ideas. And we find out there is near the road, there is a, oh, here you are. Take a glass.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome. People holding a glass feeling better.
Yes.
Yes.
Without
always.
the wine.
Yeah.
So anyway, they actually found land near the road, near the infrastructure, near the pipeline, near the electricity, near the sewage system. So they want to try to build farms along the road. And they choose Road 40, which is the road between Beersheba going all the way to Eilat.
Who is they?
They, it's governmental efforts.
So it's between who and who?
It's between Beersheba and Eilat. There's 2 roads going to Eilat. Road 40 in the highland is 19. So actually, they publish it in the newspaper and try to see the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Land authorities in Israel, and they try to see how much people will respond. They got in the same week 400 requests.
Well,
families. It's for one individual family. They have only 30 spots actually. That was the original program. It's interesting because until then, almost we didn't have any known farms. You have in America, I know, tons of farms. Everybody got his own farm. It's really rare in Israel. It's not really common. And the reason they don't do that is because the Israel government is really sensitive of land. They want to, actually the land belongs to the government, as you know, in Israel, and we're leasing the land. Every farmer leases the land for 99 years, and then you can continue leasing it for next generation. But we're leasing the land, so because we are sensitive of the land, they didn't want to give people just their own farm. And it was kind of a dream for everybody in Israel. So the minute they publish it, 400 people, 400 family was the process was very long, very, very long, and it's never ended yet. It's not really legal now, until now. They're still dealing with a lot of problems in court. They've been sued by the green parties in Israel, the green organizations. They were changed, the government changed their mind twice on the way. So it's a huge process, and these people are really pioneers. They need to do something out of nothing. If you come here 15 years ago to this wadi, it was nothing here. It's like all the wadis that you saw on the road. This is rosé. It's what we call it our white wine. We didn't start to do producing white wine yet. Actually, we are in the process. Actually, we have the first produced wine white Chardonnay, not from grapes that we pick here from another farm, but
Nearby farm?
what?
A nearby
Farm, not far near Mitzperamon. The Chardonnay and there is other white wines are really good here, and we find during the years that there is other varieties that we need to plant here that are better in this area. In the beginning, we didn't have any clue what we are doing, so we plant Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon because this is what people told us to do. But we are producing wine for many years. Actually, the first wine we produced here was 2,300 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
So I believe France took it from us.
Right.
I'm not sure, but actually maybe. Okay, so this is a kind of a white wine. It's rosé. It's a little bit pink. It's very light. Here. Put it like that. If you close your eyes and think it's a white wine, you can really
Could you
feel
tell
it.
us something about the soil?
Yeah, I will. Why we picked to do a grapes here? Actually, this is a Byzant farm from ancient time, from 2,300 years ago. Actually, it started from the Nabatean time.
That was somebody.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you.
And the area is covering all the way to 600 meters to 1,000 meters, which means 3,000 feet in the high mountain of Mitzperamon, Ramon mountain. So it's freezing here in the winter. It's cold. Sometimes in the mountain Ramon it's even snowing. So it's great for grapes. The difference between temperature night and day, it's great. And we discovered there is ancient factories of winemakers here from the Nabatean times and later on from the Byzantine. We find it here in a small city, which is not so small, called Ovdat.
We'll be there.
You'll be there?
Yeah.
You'll see it.
Great.
You'll see the factory, the Asian factory, which is an amazing process. And we estimated, we found in Ovdat, the archaeological finding of that, 4 factories like that you're going to see in the main Acropolis on the top of the mountain. 4 of them. It means they can produce about 100,000 bottles of wines, if we compare it to in those times, which is a lot of wine. We're producing here 6,000.
Here?
Here in this winery. Only 6,000. Who drank so much wine in those times? It's unbelievable to think about it. But Asian of that was about 10,000 people in the Byzantine, in the highest, in the peak. How they grow grapes here? So we find evidence on all of that plateau. All of that plateau is covering with terraces. And for many years they thought the terraces are holding the water to wash down in the rivers, in the bed rivers, because bed rivers here floods. There is tons of floods here. The water is coming very fast, flooding down the bed rivers, and actually taking with them the soil. So the terraces are actually holding the soil, and that's able to them to grow the grapes on this terrace. In able to grow grapes here, you need a certain amount of water. About 400 millimeter rainfall to irrigate, and we know we don't have it here. We have less than 80. How they did it? They built tunnels that collect water from the hills down to the wadis, and they even take out all the stones and make small hills, which Arabs call them tulilat el-aba, which mean the hills of the grapes, enable to run the water to run down to the wadi, so they can grow grapes.
This sounds like
So overall, I was very impressed and had a great time visiting the winery and tasting the wine. I'm no wine expert, so I can't really get into detail about the differences and what I thought. I tasted all the different types, and everything was good, tasted, you know, it lacked the depth of what you might find in a really good wine from France or Napa Valley or something like that, but tasted just as good as stuff I've had in kind of, I guess what I'd say, secondary countries like a German wine or Spanish wine or something like that. So thank you very, very much for watching. Hey, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next one.